Much of Barcaldine's fame centres on the confrontations between shearers and their employers in the 1890s, the Great Shearers' Strike, the introduction of scab labour and the mobilising of the military to protect the imported workers. These actions led to the rapid growth of the union movement in Australia and the formation of the Australian Labor Party, all from within the Central West. To commemorate this history, the Workers' Heritage Centre is a must-see destination in Barcaldine.
Oh, hi, my name is Bob Gleeson, CEO of the Australian Workers' Heritage Centre in Barcaldine. Australian Workers' Heritage Centre is a 5-acre site. It's in the just one block off the main street in Barcaldine, and as well as, of course, the Australian Workers' Heritage Centre, which is, as I've said, 5 acres with 18 buildings, which contain various displays and exhibitions about working history. So its aim is, of course, is to tell the history of Australian workers. And we also have a further aim than that, as well as telling the history of Australian workers. It's all about educating and engaging the Australians of today in that history, but bringing it in line with contemporary activities within working history of Australia and the development of Australia. But hopefully from that, of course, we'd hope to play a part in the vision of the future for Australia and all Australians, and certainly Australian workers, which virtually every Australian is a worker. Barcaldine traditionally, it has a traditional link, of course, in working history right back to 1891 and before that, in terms of the shearer strikes and the shearing industry. And of course Australia was very much reliant on the pastoral industry generally, and it would have been easier to build it in a city, no doubt. We thought that we'd, and it's not the easiest thing in the world, of course, to build it in low populated areas, but we thought we'd build it in the bush, in a country town that has got a real link with working history, and albeit industrial. The other thing that came to our mind was that when you look at this particular region of the Central West, there is a huge watershed of national history. When you look at Winton, of course, Waltzing Matilda, our national song. You look at Qantas in Longreach, of course, our national airline. You look at the Stockman's Hall of Fame, a national project. You look at the Blackall Wool Scour. And I think that can line up in terms of scour and shearing. It's certainly very much part of our history and national history. And now I've got the Australian Workers' Heritage Centre. It all comes together in a very, very attractive link of, I think, national history. And you put it together, it's a national and inspiring story. So I think we did put it in the right place. It's a very friendly place to visit. It's not just one building. There's a series of buildings. It is a former school, and we kept the old school buildings historically correct with the old port racks and such in from when a lot of people remember when they went to school as kids. And we've refurbished them, and in those we have put in various parts of Australian working history. And there's 18 buildings, so we cover a wide range of Australian working history. As well, of course, on our site, we also have an Outback Education Centre, which we call Wamprada, which is a word, an Aboriginal word, that means carry a swag. So we encourage students from all around Queensland and interstate to come up and spend 4 to 5 days with us. We have fully self-contained accommodation there for the children, plus a fully qualified teacher on site. And then we take them the experience through the Central West while they're there. So that's something that we feel is extremely important to get our young people involved. It's about education and engagement. And, we have something like 30-odd various stories about working history, and there is a link with them all. And so it's a real interpretation of working history.